Chase Lee Hockey here at the Blue Futon. Out of the theaters, we have The Woman King. A lot of movies are coming out. This is the first one of the weekend. Did it start off strong? Let's find out. So The Woman King, what's about? It's a very simple premise, actually. We're in Western Africa, 1864, around that time frame. We have the slave trade. We have Europeans. We have Brazilians. We have other African tribes selling slaves. This African tribe selling slaves. And now we have a tribe of women and men. Don't get me wrong. This main tribe has women and men in their military. But this one focuses on the women and this women organization, if you want to put it that way, and these young 19-year-olds going up in the ranks and seeing if they can make it in this little army. But then in the background, you have all the slave trade stuff. So, did I like this movie? It was an okay movie. I don't understand the big hype for it when it was like 100% with 50 reviews. Okay, maybe I can understand that because they're kind of scared to talk about this movie. But with that, I will give the positives of the movie first. I do think it's acted extremely well. People are saying Viola Davis, who is the standout. I think it's Lynch. Her character, to me, that's a standout character in this movie. I mean, Viola Davis is a good part, but Lynch does a fantastic job in this movie. I think if I had to choose a standout, it is her. But everyone acting in this movie, John Boyega and everyone else, does a good job. The movie looks good, but the looking good can also be a positive and a negative. I'll continue that when I go to the negatives. I do think the atmosphere is good, and I do think the story does do a decent job, but the story doesn't follow history at all. And I think let's go into the negatives now. This is rewriting history, Hollywoodized to the max. When seeing, okay, it's based on true events. When this movie first was saying we're gonna focus on this tribe, there's a lot of people on Twitter, on Facebook, like, yo, you know what this tribe has really done? Like, they were like the main leader of slave trade, this African tribe. This movie doesn't really portray it at all. It portrays other tribes and this tribe doing something different. So, rewriting history completely to the max. So, like I said, when it's based on a true event, you can't take it with a grain of salt because the history, the rewriting, they are rewriting history 101. This is what the movie does. Also, like I said, it is a clean movie. What do I mean by that? All right, what's the latest movie that just was based in Africa? Beast. Yes, that's about Israel Elba going against a lion. Sure, but there was flies in the movie. You felt like you're in Africa. You're in the nitty-gritty of it. You're like, oh, Chase, what do you know about Africa? Well, I've been in a couple parts. I've been to Agadez, Niger, which Niger is the poorest country in the world. So I was in the middle of the Sahara Desert for like 6-7 months. Been to Algeria. Wasn't there for long. Won't be honest. Or won't lie. And then Morocco, Marrakesh. Even though that is also Western Africa, I was kind of in the western part of that. But there are some parts of like ISIS spas I went to and everything like that. So, in the bazaars. So it's not like there is. And I also went to mountaintops where in the mountains, no shit, if you buy a rug and a 15-year-old made the rug, they get a husband. So I didn't buy a rug because of that reason. I just felt real wrong. But that's their culture and their tribe in that part. And also when I was in Niger, I mean, it is flies galore. There's nothing there. You're in the middle of the desert. There's just people walking. You're like, where are you walking to? It's very sad. But it's dirty. I mean, you're in the middle of the desert. There's not enough clean water. I was there for their Independence Day, like planting trees for them. So I've done a lot of stuff there, but this movie just looked too clean. Beast, you saw the flies, you saw all the actors going through the shit. It didn't feel right. It felt very Hollywoodized, and it just took me out of the picture. And also, the fighting, it was okay, but you could just kind of tell it was very formulaic. This was a very formulaic movie. All the fight sequences you saw in the trailer that's it. So that's a very disappointing. When I saw the movie had 3 action set pieces. Every single action set piece was in the trailer. So I wasn't witnessing anything new. And this is 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it felt like 2 hours and 15 minutes. I was like, okay, the second act, it was dragging. You're like, okay, this pacing needs to pick up because where are we trying to go with this? I understand they're trying to do a love story and a backstory with Viola Davis and who this new recruit is. I completely understand they're trying to pull heartstrings and everything like that, but it just didn't work for the story of what we're trying to tell with this tribe. I want to focus on this tribe, what they did, what they're trying to do. But there's too much in the back end that I was just like, what are we actually trying to do with this script? So overall, The Woman King is a fine, okay movie. Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, it's fantastic acting, and it looks gorgeous. But the problem is, if it looks gorgeous in 1864 Africa, and there's battle sequences, these battle sequences are very PG-13. When I first saw the trailer, I thought they were going for an R. This is a straight-up PG-13 movie, and it's very disappointing. But it looked clean. The CGI wasn't the greatest, especially with the fire explosions. And it was just very ho-hum, and I was expecting, honestly, a lot more. And my goodness, at least try to focus on some of the history of what happened. I know it's not the prettiest, and you want to show something good that happened to this tribe. If that's true, pick another tribe. So The Woman King will receive a 2.5 out of 5 with Futons, which equals at 50%. So see the critics' news scores gave this one. So The Woman King has a 94% with 87 of them. Audience score at 98% with over 100. Here's critic consensus. All hail Viola Davis. The Woman King rules. See, that is a very, very lazy critic consensus. You need to talk about the movie, not just Viola Davis rules. That means you're purposely not giving the audience what the movie is really about. And I'm sorry, I'll say it again. It's not Viola Davis that carries this movie. In my opinion, it's Lashana Lynch. She's also in the Bond movies, like No Time to Die and stuff like that. So she was in one of those movies. To me, she is the one that completely carries it. But yeah, the critic consensus is very, very weak. But anyway, my 50%, 98 or 94. Why am I so low? I honestly think because I've just been that part of the world for 8, 9 months of my life. Well, total if I go to all parts of Africa. So, I mean, yeah, or maybe 7. Who knows? 7, 8, 7, 6, whatever. 7, no. I was in there for June 2016 to like July 2017. So that's 7-ish months. So, yeah, we'll go with 7. So, yeah, like I said, 94, 98, 50. Chase out with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think is Futontopia. You Booftonies, thank you for watching. Have a great day. I'm just curious what the 5 Rottens are. How crushing mediocre The Woman King is. Yeah. Women can be powerful news, but is focused on her Amazon. She forgets to make them interesting. The movie's existence is vital. However, the execution is not the greatest. And it gets a 4 out of 7 for history. No, I'm sorry, but it's a movie. It didn't give me anything to latch onto. Sorry.